welcome back, Looney listeners. This is Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 89, and you may hear from my voice, Khonshu has wreaked his vengeance. I think it was because of our stuff up with the moon phases, but a little under the weather tonight. But that's nothing to say. My enthusiasm has dampened it all. I am one of your hosts, Ray, for this episode, and of course joining me is Connor. Connor, how are you?
Hello.
Hello. We have another, quite a different episode tonight. Look, it is the first quarter that we're going for, and for you stargazers and moongazers out there, you'd note that the first quarter was on Friday. So we're recording this a little later, but hey, it's not that often we get the first quarter that falls on the weekend. So thought we would just take it with both hands. So we are taking this as the first quarter, and we're doing the toy figure action statues review, aren't we, Connor?
We sure are. We got a thanks to, of course, the Rickball Special, who couldn't be with us, but did drop in a handy dandy little thing for us. We'll be travelling down through the years and looking at all the Moon Knight figures you could buy, can buy, and will be able to buy. So, I don't know. We, Ray and I only have, I think, one or two to our names, so it's not like an in-depth review, but maybe in the future we hope to get some more cracking on those. But for now, it's just a nice trip down memory lane for you all. For your action figure-loving people. Yeah. Which I know, with comics, there are plenty of those.
Yeah, exactly. And we know for sure that there are a lot of loonies in our community that have collected all these toys. As Connor mentioned, he and I have jumped on only recently, so we've kind of missed this, but that's not to say that, who knows, down the track we might pick this up on eBay or Amazon. But yeah, so, Connor, there have been recent announcements for Moon Knight action figures coming out now, so, I mean, we've got our hands full.
Oh yeah, we've got a Legends, we got another bigger one coming this year, but, oh god.
Yeah.
The amount, you don't expect how many there are.
No.
That there have been through the years, which is pretty good. And it's pretty exciting going forward.
Yeah, and looking at some of the past ones, we'll get into it in our Khonshu's Idols segment, but some of them are quite funny. Well, there's one in particular I'm looking at. But some of them actually are quite nice as well. So, we'll go all through that. But of course, we always start off the show with just a little bit of catching up between the two High Priests. Connor, any things of note that you've been reading lately over the past week?
Oh, well, you know me and Rebecca, we love our Transformers, and there has been a new Transformers #1. Fresh new start for readers acquainted or unacquainted with the Transformers.
Oh,
it's a nice little kick-off, murder mystery.
Okay.
All new universe, so if you've never checked out Transformers, or love them as much as I do, that's a good place to start.
Fantastic.
Life and Death of Toya Harada.
Oh, you've read that?
Actually, did that come out this week? Or did it get delayed?
I think...
I got a preview copy, so I don't know.
I think it got delayed. It may have. I'm not sure.
Well, pick it up next week, lads, because I think Toya Harada is one of the best villains, like, ever.
Yes.
One of the most complicated, interesting ones, and this one just cracks it wide open. Joshua Dysart, he's been with the Harbingers for ages. He just did that fantastic Goodnight Paradise, and he kills it here with artists.
Is it Cafu? No, I'm not sure. No.
Yeah, you're right, it is. Cafu.
Cool.
The fantastic Cafu has also been with Valiant for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Just absolutely fantastic. For Image had a cracking week for new #1s to pick up on. Assassination Nation and Little Bird 1. Bit of assassin. That's Erica Henderson on Assassination Nation, and then Little Bird is a fantastic alternate history fantasy story.
Okay.
We got new issues of X-23, Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Oh, there's been delays with that, hasn't there?
Oh god, so many. His slot
Yeah.
has been so behind. I think every single one of his titles, just about every issue has been pushed back a month or so. We don't know what's going on.
Well, he's on a couple. I only know Fantastic Four and Iron Man. Is he on anything else that we know? Or?
I don't think so, which is...
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, like you might...
Oh, and the new Winter Soldier comic.
Oh.
That's good as well.
Oh, okay. Nice. I mean, the Winter Soldier looks pretty good as well. I'm just wondering because, I mean, not to say he might have other stuff on, like at other companies. Because if you look at like Donny Cates and all that, they do a lot, don't they? I mean, not to say that Slot's any slouch or anything like that, but it's unfortunate because you kind of lose a bit of momentum, like when you follow these titles, and then like months go, and you're kind of like, I can't remember what happened. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing. You just read it again, but it's you lose a bit of momentum. Okay, wow. So you got quite a healthy swag there, Connor.
Oh yeah, it's a big week. I'm finally back up to date. Only took me forever.
Oh, are you up to date? Okay, like, good stuff. I've only just read Incursion last night.
Oh, nice.
I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, really, really digging it. I love. I think it's Doug Braithwaite on art. And Andy Diggle, look, I just love his stuff from Shadow Man. Again, sorry, Loonies, this is from Valiant Comics, for those who don't know. I've been catching up a bit on that. I'm all over the place. Marvel Comics Presents #2, I've just read. I thought that was really, really cool. The Wolverine stories, kind of so-so, but I enjoyed the other ones. Like Mr. Fantastic was good, and Gorilla Man was pretty fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What else have I? Amazing Spider-Man's always good. Like Nick Spencer's he's just really good. Which, by the way, I picked up on Amazon. It was really cheap. I got the complete collection of The Astonishing Ant-Man, I think by Nick Spencer, which was...
Oh, that's so much fun.
That is very... Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of double dip now, because I got the singles, and they were just fantastic, but just wanted to get a collection of them. And very cool art. It's I'm looking forward to rereading that. That's good. And by way of other purchases, through the Facebook, comic, selling group, I've got a hardcover of House of M on the way, which would be pretty cool. I'm trying to get into more. I'm trying to get more of a collection of the X-Men stuff now, just because it's been really good, hasn't it? Like the current run of X-Men. In particular, Ed Brisson, I think, is really, making inroads with his titles. Rosenberg's okay as well. He's, for me, is a bit hot and cold, but Ed Brisson's...
Yeah, I like his current Uncanny. I just caught up on that as well. 3 issues in, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, Uncanny's great. That's kind of what's really getting me going. And they're really throwing it, aren't they, at Marvel? There's the Uncanny X-Men Winter's End, so there's all these kind of offshoot titles. But the X-Force is pretty good as well. So, yeah, caught up on
I haven't read that, but that is Brisson, so I should.
Yeah, that is good. Look, I think Rebecca and I had spoken about the art for it, probably lagging a bit in the second issue. Look, the third issue, obviously still the same artist, but it's pretty good. I mean, I think Brisson's story carries it along, and the art may not be your cup of tea, but it's it's what do you call it? Serviceable. So so that's been fun. But apart from those, just looking for bargains, Connor. Bargains are the way to
bargain
go.
Hunting is good.
And dangerous. It's so easy to spend money these days. I don't know what's going on. Got to check the wallet. Anyway, speaking of which, as well, we've got a little bit of an announcement just now. Over the next week or so, Comixology have a buy one get one free from Marvel. So you might want to pick up something there, peruse the collections that they have on offer, and it's a pretty good deal. I was speaking to Dave from the Signal of Doom, and he's picked up a couple of epic collections because basically 2 for 1. Why not?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely the biggest way I've gotten so many comics, just Comixology sales. Just dig in.
Oh, I'm still waiting for, remember that sale that they had? I don't know if they'll have it again, where it was like $1.
Kindle ones?
Yeah, it was like $1. Like $1 for a massive trade. It's crazy. That's what
I don't think they'll ever have those again. I think retailers got really mad at them because those prices were just too cheap. So I don't think, I think we've ship sailed.
Yeah, it's kind of sullied my experience now because I think I picked up about 5 or 6 epic collections, like for for $1 each over there. And so looking at this buy one get one free, it's like, it's still going to cost me like $15 for one of them. Let alone 15 for 2. So anyway, I've still got a lot of reading to do anyway, so there's no point in buying until I've read what I've read. Isn't that the point?
Where's the fun in that?
Also as well, look, again, sorry, KHONSHU, a bit of shameless self-promotion here. So a couple of episodes in and around this episode, you'll find, I think, at the beginning of the weekend, The Last Sons of Krypton, a Superman podcast, one that I co-host with another Connor L. That dropped, I think Friday or Saturday. Check it out if you're a Superman fan, or if you want to learn more about Superman. That's certainly what I'm doing. We review Superman for all seasons, which apparently is like one of the big,
the big ones.
So... no spoilers. Connor and I, we gave our scores. Look, needless to say, that was pretty good. So Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, so a good little creative team there. So yeah, check that out if you can. And also, last night when I was, pardon me, when I was half dying from this cold, I got onto Capes and Lunatics, and I had a good chat with Phil. Fill me in, Perich.
Good stuff.
And we discussed Peter David's 1991 run of X Factor. Man, it was
the great
fun.
one where Kermit the Frog beats the shit out of Multiple Man. I love that run.
Yeah, it is a cracker of a run. I forgot how funny Peter David is. His stuff is kind of... And actually, I retract my previous statement. I don't know where I said it, whether online or on the show, saying how I didn't like Rosenberg's treatment of Jamie Madrox in that last run that he did, because I felt that it wasn't true to character. Well, I got that totally wrong. I totally forgot Peter David paints him in very much a similar light in the 1990s. So Rosenberg absolutely has been accurate with his portrayal. I was only more familiar, or actually preferred more, his depiction in the 2000 run that Peter David did, where Jamie Madrox is more of the detective, a bit more savvy. Yeah, a bit noir, that sort of stuff. So, so please check that out. I think Phil said it will drop on Tuesday, but I'll put in the show notes. They always release a YouTube version as well. So if you want to see my ugly mug on there as well, sniffling away and half dead from this illness, go check it out on YouTube. It's up there. It's only just about under an hour conversation. It was really fun. So if you want to learn more about X Factor, please do. So other than that, Connor, KHONSHU, anything else that we'd like to touch base with our fair loony listeners with?
Nothing yet. It has been quiet on all fronts over here.
Yeah.
Both with myself and the old Moon Knight himself.
Yeah, exactly. There's absolutely no news here, loonies. Look, I did a bit of a trawl myself, and I scoured the net at the ocean floor, and I only brought up a couple of empty shells and a couple of rocks. Nothing much here in the way of news. I was thinking about putting one in there, Connor, about, again, some more speculation about Moon Knight in the next phase, but my God, that's just I think I'll get
beaten
stoned.
A dead horse.
Oh, well, yeah, and I'll get beaten myself if I raise that again. But anyway, it's always out there, loonies, I guess. You can always find something on it, but no point in reporting it. So,
when does Marvel Comics Presents 4 drop?
Oh, April, mid to late April, I think.
All right. So
it must be... It's weird, because it must be... bi-weekly, because it's only up to issue 3 now, right? And then, this illness has affected my brain. We've still got plenty of time, don't we? We got about 4 weeks.
A month and a week to go.
A month and a week, okay. So it might be late April, I think.
Yeah, April 24th. I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh, and incidentally, Connor, did you see on Twitter Juan Ferreira? He made an announcement, the artist.
Oh, the Marvel Limited series he's doing 5 issues, I think, isn't it?
Yes. He's doing The Punisher. So...
I didn't realise... Oh,
yeah.
wow.
He dropped a little cryptic note. He said, something like a walk in the park or something. I've got this gig, and then people were speculating, and then he revealed, yep, it was Frank Castle, the Punisher. So that will be pretty interesting. I don't know who's going to be writing that, but it should be good. His art, obviously, we posted it up in the community. Looks really good. Kind of painted, almost painted, isn't it?
Yeah. He can do a whole bunch of marvellous things. Did you read his Bullseye run? I totally forgot he did that.
His what? Which run?
He did a Bullseye run. About the same time, I think Elektra got her own mini and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Is that him? Okay.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I got that.
I know he did Bullseye in somewhere. I don't know.
It was okay. It was good. That was the art was good. The story was good. It wasn't outstanding. I remember, I think I, and maybe Rebecca talking about it, or maybe the peeps over at Serious Issues, about how it was kind of like your run-of-the-mill Bullseye story, but there was a little bit in there where I think they pull I think it's Shotgun. I think that's his name. He's really a Z grade character. He gets used
Z of the Zedist, huh?
Z of the Zedist, yeah. Anyway, okay, so Bullseye, I might have to reread that, just to look at that again. Anyway, look, if there's nothing else, Connor, why don't we just steady ourselves, take a short break, and we'll be right back with our Khonshu's Idol review of the toys.
Hi, this is Phil Parrish from the Capes and Lunatics podcast, a proud member of the collective, and you're listening to Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast.
And hello again, Looney listeners. You are listening to the deep dive into the history of the toys of Moon Knight. It is Idol Chat with Ray and Connor. And we're ready to talk toys.
Yeah.
Talking toys. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we hope this... And as you said, big thanks to Rickball for giving us... We'll put this in the show notes. It's the ultimate resource for the Fist of Khonshu. And this series has like figures, busts, statues. It goes into some miscellaneous stuff. We'll see how we go. But anyway, so for all you toy collectors out there, or those interested in collecting... I must say, actually, before we go into this, Connor, it is a worthwhile pursuit. I mean, you and I, we both dabble a little bit in it. It is fun. I never thought I'd get into it, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither, but it's so addicting. You buy one, and then you put it on your shelf, and you realise there's nothing else there, and you got to go all in.
It's kind of like... you kind of see your favourite characters kind of in the flesh, so to speak. I think that's what the appeal is for me. Like, as I said, I'd never thought I'd be, buying or collecting them. Just, not my thing. But there's something quite satisfying having it on the shelf and seeing your Moon Knight or seeing your Namor or, Spider-Woman on the shelf, and you get to pose them and stuff. So yeah, it's a worthwhile thing. Look, the other big thing I just want to say, and what I discovered, and obviously is a big marketing thing, is the BAF, the builder figure. So with Hasbro, Marvel Legends, that kind of draws you in, doesn't it? Because you have to actually buy a particular set of characters in order to actually get a 5th or 6th or 7th, an extra character. So there were these BAF figures of Sauron, I've seen Juggernaut, Thanos, all this sort of stuff. But the tricky thing is, though, is that they mix in some characters that you typically wouldn't get, you know what I mean, in a set. So it's kind of like, I don't really want to get them, but I want to get the BAF, the BAF figures. So,
huh?
Yeah, I haven't fallen down that rabbit hole yet, Connor. But it is one of the, I guess you can either call it a perk or a curse of collecting these figures. But anyway, so let's start with action figures, Connor.
Shall we start from the beginning, I guess?
Let's start from the very beginning. Why don't you take the first one?
This is the first one, I believe, that we ever saw pop up in 1994. This weird-looking thing from Toy Biz, the Marvel Universe Moon Knight. So it was, it seems to be the first Moon Knight figure ever made. It's 10 inches. It was the usual Toy Biz at the time. You know, they are sort of comparable to a range of figures we have currently that, you know, they're very stiff, posable ones. You kind of move their arm up and down. You know, they're very blank. You get a lot of Star Wars and Marvel ones. You've probably definitely seen them.
Yeah.
Similar to that. So yeah, it was made of a basic Toy Biz Spider-Man model. He's got a cloth cape, and then he's got that white and gold, white, gold, and black look that was kind of popular thanks to the Mark Spector run. Kind of almost the Fist of Khonshu, although no one really credits that.
But that was it. I was about to say that this does reference more the Fist of Khonshu than the Mark Spector run. The Mark Spector run, it kind of changes a bit. He ends up with an adamantium kind of armour. But yeah, to me this is more like Fist of Khonshu, which is a very strange reference to have with the gold. You know, he's only missing the ankh at the around his neck. But yeah, this is a strange one, and like you say, Connor, this reminds me of when I was young. I used to collect the old Masters of the Universe figures, and how their elbows and knees, they don't move, like they're pretty much just rigid, and so it's very hard to get accurate poses. And the beauty of the Hasbro ones is that they're so malleable, and you can come up with these awesome poses. I've actually even seen, Connor, collectors you can buy these Perspex stands as well. So you know how you don't have to always make the figure like stand proper on a ground surface. You can actually have them in the middle of a jump or a leap, but you can mount them on these like Perspex sticks. It looks pretty cool.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So after that, not long after that, the year after, 1994 to 1995, Toy Biz had another crack at it, and they released a Marvel Gold, the Moon Knight. Now
this is one chonky boy.
This, I like to see what sort of Frankenstein put this together. So let me see. This blurb says Toy Biz had a small line of figures devoted to less mainstream characters, of course, Moon Knight. The figure is based off a base model from Toy Biz. I guess so, because it's pretty awful. There are no accessories for the figure. The figure's posability is limited, again, and it stands as the first regular-size Moon Knight action figure. Okay, so the other one was a 10-inch, so that's slightly smaller.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one, Connor, first impressions. What did you make of this?
Mate, this is like the fucking luchador wrestler version of Moon Knight. He is just so wide. He's got a crazy belt. There's no even attempt to make those crescent darts not look like they've just been painted on, or even drawn on with an ink pen.
Absolutely.
And that cape around his head, it just doesn't fit him. He's like some barbarian, and they're just like, oh, wear this size small cape.
Yeah.
Get out there, lad.
Yeah, so this one and the previous one, they're playing with the cloth capes, and look, obviously it's a work in progress, and it just doesn't give that look that you want from Moon Knight. It is very hard to pull off a hooded look and a cape on someone. I'll be interested to see the other figures in this series as well, other caped figures, but it certainly doesn't help Moon Knight. I mean, his face in this photo, at least, is half kind of swallowed up by this white cloth of a hood on him. And as you say, Connor, the detailing, if you can call it that, is really really shonky. Like, I think you can get, like a 12-year-old person to draw that on. So the best thing out of this, I think, would be the packaging. Would that be fair to say, Connor?
I think so. Also, I will add,
Yep.
if you are looking for this boy, you can probably find him on eBay for around about $100 Australian.
Ooh.
But that original Marvel Universe Moon Knight
Yep.
is very hard to come by.
Wow. Well, that's it. That's the only thing. That's the last laugh, isn't it? So if you have a couple of these babies, you'd be like laughing. I bought this. You'd say I bought this for like what, $12, $15? Now it's like $100. So yeah. Yeah, $100 well spent. I'm not too sure if that's the case for this. But, of course, if you are a collector, look, we must pay respects to all.
No, I did find one of those Marvel Universes ones on eBay.
How much?
Still in box for $100. Not bad.
100. Still a hungy.
Hungy, mate.
Man, that's...
There is something so absolutely just ugly about the Marvel's Gold one that almost makes me want to buy him.
I thought you were going to say...
Don't know.
Makes you want to vomit. And look, yeah, you're right. As you say, this came out in 1995. This came out during Mark Spector Moon Knight. So I don't know why they didn't take a leaf out of the comic book itself. They didn't just look into the... Yeah.
Toy is an interesting company. I want to look into them. I got to imagine there are plenty of better figures around this time.
I think they're...
And these...
I'm assuming they might be bust. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can only hope. Nah.
I mean, I'm in that...
Sorry to all those Toy Biz workers.
Yeah. I'm in that insincerity because I was just setting up the episode summary, Connor, and I tagged all the various distribution companies, and on Twitter at least I couldn't find an official Toy Biz Twitter account, although all the other ones have their own accounts. So I don't know if Toy Biz... There's a Toy Biz Australia, but I don't think that's the same thing. So
they went bust in 2007.
Oh, I was surprised they didn't go bust in 1995.
Maybe that was the hottest toy on the shelf, you don't know. Although it was a mail order. The hottest mail away order.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. Right, so that was...
There's a bit of a gap, huh?
There was a bit of a gap.
11 years. Well, there's some smaller stuff probably in between, but for main figures, the next one was the Diamond Select Moon Knight.
Oh, no.
So this comes rocking off the massive Houston run.
Yes.
Complete with Khonshu statue and all. That's from Diamond Select Toys. Modelled heavily after Finch's artwork. He's got a flexible rubber cape, smoky white grey, 2 crescent dart accessories, a lovely staff for Khonshu. He's just a sculptor, no posability, doesn't quite give a height. I'll look it up.
Yeah, if there's anything, I wouldn't mind picking this one up. This is cool because it's got the statue of Khonshu, and the detail on this, is you can see 11 years difference from the Toy Biz one. The cape looks so much better. It's as you said, it's a flexible rubber, so it actually holds its shape a bit more. The hood and around his shoulders just hold a bit more, so you can actually see his face proper. He looks obviously very Finch-like, built like a truck. But I'm really digging this Khonshu statue, Connor. I think
that is awesome. I don't think we've seen anything like that again.
No. Have you seen this on eBay?
It's rocking. This one's always been a bit more expensive. You're rocking a bit more 150, 200, depending on the seller.
Whoa! Holy moly! Oh, geez, that's going to be
It's a bit of a holy grail.
There's a bit of a holy grail, but it is such a nice... I think that this is probably... And this is 13 years younger than the Hasbro figures. This is, I think, comparable to a lot of the figures you get today. It's great.
The only thing I think that weakens it is the face sculpt.
Yeah, I've just zoomed in and I see what you mean. Although they give... there's an attempt there to make out his face underneath the mask, which is a point of difference. Yeah, so you kind of see the lump of his nose. I'm zooming in. Jeez, he's got veins popping out.
That's Finch, baby.
Yeah,
they know what they were doing.
That's Finch, and he's got proper detailing. The gloves, they look good. The boots look good. The belt, moon belt, detailed very well, as well as the anatomy, of course. But the Khonshu at the background, man. It's great. So yeah, that's Diamond Select. So Diamond Select doing a lot of good stuff. Next up, just a year later, we get something a little more, I guess, possibly stylized, in more just black and white. This is, I guess, Hasbro's first crack at Moon Knight, and so this is their. He was part of the MODOK series. So, as we mentioned before, there's a BAF, a Build-A-Figure, and so if you bought this Moon Knight, you'd get MODOK's arm, and then you'd have to buy all the other figures as part of the set to complete MODOK. But but he is purely jet and silver, or kind of black and white. He's got a bow staff. He's got accessories. His flexible rubber cape as well, and his accessories include nunchucks and the bow staff. There's also apparently there it is. I didn't notice the difference before. There's a picture as well. There's also a variant, a silver painted variant of the figure. I didn't know toys had variants.
Yeah, a lot of them can be.
Wow.
A lot of them are limited,
Yeah.
and they'll pop up at Comic Cons or select
of course.
retailer variants.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you? How many people do you reckon tried to just spray paint their normal Moon Knight with a silver spray paint?
Sure, that silver is pretty odd too. I'm sure if you spray painted it, you might even get a better look.
Probably. It does look a bit odd. It's hard to tell from this photo, but the silver version, the variant, the face looks a bit off. Definitely the black one with the eyes look a lot better. But yeah, here, Connor, what do you think of this figure?
I don't mind it actually. That I think for the time,
Yep.
I don't know. I think that moon crest on the chest a bit weird, and we've never seen that kind of fully black Moon Knight. I don't think.
True, because that...
But the nunchucks and the staff are good. The sculpt's pretty good. It's not bad.
Yeah, and trademark with Hasbro stuff. I'm zooming in. You got joints at the ankles, the knees, the pelvic region. You can even bend the core and twist the waist, elbows, wrists, and even fingers. So quite a malleable figure. I'm not sure if the shoulders can laterally go up, but I'm assuming they can because it looks pretty good. And look, I take that back. There is a shot here of the silver one, and the face looks pretty decent. So again, they're trying to contour the nose in it. So yeah. So I take what you say, Connor. Actually, I just took it for granted. The black and white. I was just thinking of the Declan Shelby one, but you're absolutely right. There's no... In the run, there is no instance where he has, except for Secret Avengers, where he has a black suit. So yeah, so that's but aesthetically, it still looks pretty cool.
It's not bad. If I bought them at the time, I think I'd be pretly happy with them. Mm-hmm. Especially if there's nothing else on the market. And this one's also rocking at about 100 to 150 on eBay. But I don't know. These things probably end up cheaper at collectors' fairs and stuff like that. Who knows what you can find?
Oh yeah, or secondhand. Maybe someone who just doesn't really care can send you for a bargain. We should ask Rickball. I'm sure he
loves those toy fairs. I'm jealous we don't have any up here in Toowoomba.
Yeah, yeah. He went to one just recently and he showed the swag that he got. That looked pretty good. Yeah, so he's cashing in. Who's next? I forgot. Is that you, Connor?
Oh, that would be me. Yes, the adorable. Do you have this? The Mini-Mates?
I do. I have the recent version, 2018 or 2017. So they actually
we got
did
a new one, didn't
Yeah. But this is the older one.
2009 from Diamond Select. Mini-Mates are tiny little posable ones, almost in the style of knockoff Lego. This is Wave 29, and it comes with an armoured Daredevil, which is the 90s Daredevil.
It is. That's pretty cool. You don't see that
I like
often.
that armoured suit. That's a controversial opinion, but
you like
I
it?
like it.
Yeah,
you know what?
I don't mind it as well. I mean,
I'll take the chop.
bow the head, stick the neck out. No, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a very interesting pick. Like 2009 to pick a 90s Daredevil armored. I'd imagine for Daredevil fans and collectors that would be quite a highly sought after Mini-Mates. Mini-Mates actually, they kind of rack up as well. I was looking.
They're going strong.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at on eBay for a multiple man one and a Black Knight one, and they go for a pretty penny. They're not like any of the toys, they kind of go up in value. So this one, look, I'm only comparing it to the Mini-Mate I have of Moon Knight, which was released just recently, and that was released in conjunction with awesome figures like Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Punisher, and Ghost Rider. And actually you had a builder figure as well. You ended up with, I believe it's Quake, Daisy Johnson. This one in 2009.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry, Connor?
No. I just remembered it.
Oh, yeah. This one in 2009, I found it a bit weird, kind of, because there's the detailing in the torso region is, detailed for this type of toy, but that's about it. Then everything's kind of white. And the face is really black. I mean, I know there's a contrast there, but, it comes across, I don't know, it comes across as a bit weird.
Yeah, the best part of this figure, I think, is the packaging. It's a nice box.
The Armored Daredevil, actually. The Armored Daredevil looks cool. I mean, just from what I can see. So what you said, it had actually... He's got little crescent darts, doesn't he? I can see it in the package. Yeah, so... Yeah, the mini-mates are going pretty well.
Yeah, that was Wave 29 back in the day. I wonder how many fucking waves they're up to now.
Wave 29, my god. Yeah.
Nah, I don't mind mini-mates.
Yeah,
just
they're
pull
okay.
their legs. They're fine. They're cute.
And also, so we head to 2010, just the year after, and Hasbro, it's their turn now, to re-release Moon Knight for... This is not really their Legends, it's this Marvel Universe.
I think I remember these
yeah.
at one point on the shelves.
So this is
a wee bab.
3 3/4 inch, so this is small.
Yeah.
So the new Hasbro line of Marvel Universe 3 3/4 inch figures has rapidly become one of the best and most comprehensive Marvel toy series ever made. It had some obscure characters. There aren't many stock molds as well. There are a lot of articulation points. There's a good. This review says it's a good paint job, and it comes with a staff and a crescent dart. It's a stiff rubber mold cape, which kind of, I think, compared to the flexible rubber, doesn't have that much give to it. And the belt is a separate piece glued to the figure. The hyperposability makes it much harder to stand in a stable position. Expect this figure to fall down a lot. Also, accessories are easy to lose, but that's like any accessory, seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, it includes a shield file with secret code, so that's pretty fun. I don't know what
code that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that does. But yeah, what did you think of this figure, Connor?
I'm conflicted. I don't love it. Once again, this kind of all white look. It's a lot more. It's in a way comic book accurate, but the way the torso is painted, just the way the torso is done, and the figure's molded, it's just a bit awkward looking. I actually prefer the Marvel Legends one, which I guess has a lot to do with the size difference as well. The way you can build figures in that way, but it's a bit of a stiff looking figure. But I really like the box art actually. That's great box art.
Yeah, the box art is really
pick
good.
on Moon Knight running at you with his moon stuff.
And I mean, as you say, it is accurate too. Like if you look at the art on the box, that's how he looks in the comics. So they have replicated that in toy form, but it just doesn't come off. I mean, there's not enough texture there for the anatomy. Look, for me, he's like, dare I say it, his pelvis really sticks out, doesn't it? Because it's pure white. So it kind of looks like he's just got some undies on. And his belt looks far too big for it, so it actually protrudes out a bit. If you look at it from a distance, it almost looks like his body shape is a little disproportioned. But yeah, so this surprised me that this was a Hasbro one, but as you say, it could be something to do with the size of it. We're talking... a fifth of the size, maybe less, a quarter of the size of what you'd be accustomed to. So it'd be hard to get that detailing in.
Yeah, these versions of figures have always been kind of popular. I guess the MCU and their movie focus kind of replaced the smaller toys like these, and that's why Legends is kind of the only range of figures that isn't MCU based. But these things have always, this size and this sort of packaging and release always been popular, like Star Wars and all that jazz.
Right.
This figure's a bit cheaper to find online. We can crack some down to say $60.
$60.
$60 still in bucks.
Still 60.
That's Australian.
Okay. Yeah. That's a bit. I mean, it's all a bit much for that for me. But yeah, especially for that figure. I mean, like, so Connor, out of these action figures, which one would you take home with you proudly, or which one would you?
Definitely.
If they all cost, say, what's a decent price that you could part with? Say $70, $60. Say $60. You had $60 to spend. You had a choice whether to buy one of these or to buy something else. Would you take one?
I think I'd take Marvel Gold Moon Knight from 1995. I'm just a big fan of his girth.
Oh, God.
He's just very large.
He's a very...
I'd definitely be the Diamond Select one. He is. He's unmatched here.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would say exactly the same. The Diamond Select of 2006, just because also as well, I mean, bang for your buck, you get two figures. Like, you get the statue as well. But, of course, yeah, Connor, for a bit of a laugh, why not get the gold? I mean, God, that's terrible.
So there is...
Sorry?
I was just going to add, the one we've covered, I think all the way back in episode 19, our, was it 2017 release?
Yes.
Marvel Legends Moon Knight.
Yeah.
With Vulture Build-A-Figure. You get his jetpack.
Yeah. Very good Moon Knight design there, based totally on Declan Shelby's design. And so if you haven't listened to that, just have a look at your podcast catcher. Check out episode 19. We'll put it in the show notes again as well for ease of access. But yeah, Connor and I do that. We don't only do that. There were 3 Funko Pop figures. We can class it as figures, right? Action figures or just figures, yeah. So they were released around the time as well. I can't remember the dates, but on episode 19 we reviewed them as well. There were 3. There was a standard Mr. Knight, which came out first. Then you had, I believe it was a Los Angeles comic convention that had a
glow-in-the-dark
exclusive glow-in-the-dark one, which was quite hard to find. We're lucky enough to have found it over here. And then later on, Walmart had released the classic Moon Knight costume, which is that is my personal favourite. I don't know, which ones did you like from the Funko Pop?
I think it's the classic Moon Knight.
Yeah, it's just it's really good. The cape looks really nice. It works really well.
You could still find those figures pretty decently priced. The classic Moon Knight and the regular Mr. Knight are usually still in stock around the place for a decent price. The glow-in-the-dark one, unless you can find it at a good price, will probably set you back a bit more, say $60 instead of the $20-25 you could pay. Yep.
Oh, and that reminds me of the glow-in-the-dark. Apparently there were 2 versions, so if you haven't checked...
The blue and the green.
The blue and the green, yeah. So some of them randomly, if you check them out in the dark, they would be green, the others would be blue. I think apparently the blue ones were even harder to come by for collectors out there, so I can't remember. It might have been the green. One of them was harder to get, so...
I remember that classic episode 2 when you went to check how they glowed in the dark and you just shut your laptop and shut Skype down for us. That's a classic little tidbit you'll get there.
Excellent stuff there.
And with the... sorry. No, I was just going to say with the Marvel Legends figure, that's that's claimed by big-time collectors of Marvel Legends, which I'm not, that is one of their best. And it shows. It's a worthy addition.
Absolutely,
don't you worry.
Absolutely. Our very own Looney Rickball Special, our in-house toy expert, he rates his Moon Knight up there with a couple of others as well. We'll get to his comments a bit later on. But also, as well, Connor, on top of that, there was, as we mentioned, obviously the Mini-Mates release, which came with the Defenders and Punisher and Ghost Rider. But you also had made mention, Connor, of an upcoming figure.
Or the big boy one. This is going to set you back about $80 US. But Mezco is a big-time seller of these quality toys. I think they've made rounds with their Daredevil. But it is a full-on, fully detailed, posable, about 10 different accessories, a different head, posable display. Mezco Moon Knight. This is probably one of the biggest we've got of this caliber that isn't a statue. This is some top quality stuff.
Do you remember how big? Is it 16-inch or?
I can look it up.
Sorry, not 16-inch.
1 to 12, which is something, I guess.
Right.
That still isn't available on its website. We've only seen it in a catalogue for this year's releases, but...
Yep. Yeah, that's so cool. Can't wait to... Once it hits and comes in, I'm gonna have to fork out something to get it, and we'll review it. It's very exciting news. I'll try to find the image again and post it up. Have a look if you haven't seen it already in our community. Really, really gorgeous looking figure, that one. So well worth a look.
There's also
Yes.
one I just remembered. The strangest little tidbit: the superhero squad show Moon Knight figure that exists.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he's still really cheap. I bought one some weeks ago for $12 off eBay.
Oh, nice.
He was in a double pack with Spider-Man or some loser.
Some loser. Yeah. Bloody Spider-Man.
He never made an appearance in the TV show, but he made an appearance in the game. So yeah, he's a little adorable figure.
Cool.
With a dumb face and a dumb staff, and I love him very much.
Connor, so shall we go through not only the action figures, there are a couple of other figures, I guess, of Moon Knight that we can look at and look at throughout the ages. We've got busts here next.
Yeah, the a grand total of a few, with some statues as well.
And I dare say that they're very expensive now as well. These busts, they go for a bit, don't they? Just incidentally, I looked, come across a Black Knight one. Same company, Bowen Designs, and on eBay I think it goes for something about $380, $390 Australian.
Oh.
Yeah, so prized possessions. So anyway, let's go chronologically. The first one, 1998, with a question mark, by Bowen Designs. It's Moon Knight. This one I've seen around, posted up by some of the Loonies, so it seems to be quite popular.
It's a nice sort of,
Yeah.
I don't know, elegant pose.
It is.
I don't know if elegant's the right word, but he looks dignified.
He does look dignified. The chest is out. The cape is really well done, I think, draped. I find it maybe a little weird. If you look past his waist, he's actually mounted on a silver orb. So I don't know. That's probably just personal preference.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I've never been a fan of busts. I'd rather just get the whole boy, legs and all.
Yeah. Where would you put? I'm only thinking busts are classical composers. Where would you put this? On top of your piano or something, Connor? Where would you put busts?
I'd love for you to put a bust. I want to buy you a bust to put on top of your piano for all your students to be like, what are you?
Scare the hell out of them. Because they're only young. What is it, a mantelpiece? Like it's a mantelpiece or in a study on the desk?
You put it alongside your books.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, yeah, so this one, it looks quite, as you say, dignified, nice detailing of the cape. The face looks good. And the colouring looks good as well.
So I guess go 2006, still riding high off the crazy Moon Knight run and the other Diamond Select figure that dropped. This is Diamond Select's own Moon Knight bust, going very comic book, more, I don't know, stronger comic book look. Mm-hmm. It's got a very unique crescent dart base.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Weird.
Yeah, it's I guess a lot more defined color with the black, whites, and silver. Mm-hmm. Definitely just it gives off a very different sheen.
Yeah,
almost kind of a new age look. Kind of get straight away out of this.
Yeah, what would you comparing it directly with the Bowen design one? What's your take on this one?
I think it's another really strong bust. I think I dislike where the cape's cut off and how it forms to make the crescent dart. It just gives it a bit sort of a look and almost makes the cape seem a bit lacking. If you just had those great lines just flowing out into a proper cape, I think it would have been a lot better figure. And with that, I think I just slightly prefer the Bowen. Although the colouring of this one is far stronger. The
colouring is, definitely. I agree with you with the cape. It kind of almost looks like he's got no arms as well, because it's so tightly wound around it. I'd like to actually get another view from the side or the back or something, because it's very interesting how they've done the cape. I find the plinth, I guess you'd call it, or the base, which is this tilted black crescent moon. Look, it's quite smart, but call me old-fashioned. Yeah, the Bowen design one seems more of a traditional bust with just like a heavy set base, and I think the cape works a lot better in the Bowen design one than the diamond one. But I totally agree with you. I think the colouring and the tones created in the cape for the Diamond Select one is pretty good. I'd say on par. I don't know, maybe not superior to the Bowen design one. So anyway, so these are all kind of fairly spaced around the same time. So that was 8 years, and then we get another 7 years, and from the company Gentle Giant in 2013. It's quite recent. We get a Moon Knight bust. And this has Moon Knight holding one of his crescent darts. His his costume is predominantly white with a black mask. And it's apparently the most expensive bust to date when it first retailed. But it does look fantastic, as it says. This one's a lot more Moon Knight in action, isn't it? It veers away from the classic sense of a bust.
Oh yeah, it's got the arms out, it's got a crescent dart, it's got the flowing cape. The only thing you're really missing are a cute pair of legs.
But it's still a pretty good looking figure, though, right?
Well, Rick nearly bought one of these. Rickball.
Oh.
I think he nearly picked one up for $70 or something.
Oh,
crazy.
that's right. He posted that up in the loony bin, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I can only find the Bowen design actually, which retails anywhere from $100 to $200 on eBay.
Oh, okay.
But that Diamond Select one has just gone from the face of the earth.
Wow.
I cannot find them.
So dare I say it might hit the old wallet if you do come across it. Then it's pretty hard to find.
Oh, I bet.
Out of these three, so out of all three of them now, which one would you get, Connor?
I don't know. There's really something about the Bowen design I like.
Yeah.
He almost rocks it to the top for me. I think he's in direct competition with the Gentle Giant one. I like that pose. I like that design. But I think if I was to display something on my mantle, that sleek, elegant, probably a bit easier to fit look of the Bowen Moon Knight, I'd get him.
Yeah, I would agree as well, wholeheartedly. It's out of those two. The Gentle Giant one looks really good as well. Don't get me wrong, it looks very good. But it all depends on if you're going for classical. The Bowen design one just has that kind of. It looks compact. It looks like like a bust. This Gentle Giant's almost like a statue, just without the legs. It's very well detailed. It's beautiful. I would be happy with this one as well, but if you ask me for a bust, the Bowen design one would probably be it. Yeah. So right. Those are the busts.
Well, that brings us.
Yep.
Brings to the last few pieces with statues here. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And there's a couple, right? We've got one in our heads. And the first one here is Bowen Designs again, 2006. So hang on, let me see when the bust came out in 1998, and then they released a statue. So this was sculpted by the Kucharek brothers, and it's taller than most full-size ones. Its form and shape is very similar. Well, this is what it says, but I don't see it. Then the Bowen bust. The paint job is dark silver, and it's got a lot of sheen to it. It's very shiny. There is a white and light blue variant of the statue, but it's hard to find because it's a limited run. Oh, the white and blue's hard.
History is doomed to repeat itself.
Yeah. So this is quite a lovely figure.
Oh yeah, I'd be very happy with this.
That base is
probably
awesome.
a bit cumbersome to place. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that's a proper city protector right there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, it's really well done. I'd be afraid to find out how much this would cost, Connor. Did you just figure? Yeah,
rocking near in the $1,000 mark.
Holy moly! Okay, so that's going to be a bit hard.
This is apparently released with some Daredevil and Punisher statues as well, so I bet they look pretty great.
Wouldn't it be cool, Connor, if you were just like going down the local street at a garage sale, and then someone has this, just getting rid of it. That would be a story. Like any loonies who have luck similar to that, drop us a line, let us know. Because sometimes, these collector
You never
items, sometimes people have them and they don't know, or they've been given it from someone else and they just don't know. But a very handsome figure, this one.
Yeah, and I think I'll let you cover the last one because this is one I just got reminded as I was browsing through the internet. This is a very classic looking one. It's very notable. It's got a very distinct look with a Khonshu head. This is XM Studios one.
Oh,
if you
yes.
just want to give that a look up. You'll recognise that one immediately. It's another great statue.
Oh.
Massive. This one can go second hand for about 2,000 Australian on eBay. But it is just a massive statue on a gorgeously detailed Egyptian-looking gargoyle.
Absolutely.
A very mean-looking, nightmarish design, or scary design that comes with an equally beautifully terrifying Khonshu head with that fantastic shelvy look.
Oh, man.
A bunch of different weapons and chains, fully detailed belt, a flowing cape. It is something to behold.
Certainly. One of the things I remember from it is if you look at the close-up of Moon Knight's face, you can actually see the texture of of like a fabric. But it isn't a fabric, it's like a resin. So you get the texture of a fabric on the face, which is just unbelievable, the amount of detail. And as Connor said, the Khonshu head, just really, really awesome statue. And Connor, you were mentioning, like you've mentioned previously as well, you have friends that collect statues, don't they? Collectibles. And like 1,000, 2,000s, you're talking, that's like, it's not out of the ordinary. Am I right?
Oh, I think once you hit 1,000, you're going for something pretty crazy. I don't know many, and maybe any friends who have something worth 2,000.
Wow.
I think 500 is some of the highest people are willing to go. 1,000 for something really special.
Yeah. And that was...
Although this, I imagine, probably would have been about 1,000 when it dropped.
I remember from memory, I think it was €1,300, which is still quite high.
Yeah,
so,
and once again, this was a limited run. I think
it was sold out. I remember
300
when we
300 of these.
Yeah, I remember when we talked about it. I read the article. It sold out already. So people there got cash. So well, good on them. That's great. So yeah, the XM Studio one was great, and of course the last one as well. Kind of, there's a re-release of it. It's a Diamond Select. Coming. So originally, again, 300, I believe, was released, and it was done by, I don't have the details here, but it was done by this sculptor, Jean-Paul something.
Jean Saint Jean.
Oh, Saint Jean. Billy Jean.
He's got his own studio, big-time sculptor by the looks of it. Very unique design, very Egyptian, I think.
Yeah.
Very mythical as well, supernatural maybe.
Right. Okay, so limited to 3,000, sorry, not 300. And yeah, 12-inch, very cool looking design. You can see his cestus spiked knuckles as well. Also, the inimitable, I would rather take a shot than defend a shot. So he's got a couple of punctures in his costume as he kind of is steeling himself to go into the fray. Very well. It comes in a full colour window box. It's a resin statue, and it's also packaged with a certificate of authenticity. So anyway, this was released earlier. It stopped, obviously, and apparently they are re-releasing it. I believe in January, perhaps, maybe next year.
Pre-order's already up.
Yep. And this one will set you back. Looks like 100. The site I'm looking at, which is Big Bad Toy Store, is 135. That's the US. So,
which isn't too bad for a statue like this.
No,
for something so detailed.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, this is quite a nice looking statue. So, happily get this one if I could. As you said, yeah, the base is brilliant, isn't it? It's got Khonshu, a bit of detailing there. The base really makes a big difference. So yeah.
And I think with Diamond Select, if you ask your local comic store, they might be able to find it through their channels, right?
Yes. Yep, absolutely. So I've struck up with Jim from King's Comics in Sydney, and he's going to let me know as soon as it drops, but I've put my name for one.
You're going to put that one atop your piano.
Yeah, I will. Yep. Bit of uplighting, make it look kind of nightmarish for the little kids. Oh, yeah. So there you go. Well, that's we haven't missed anything, have we, Connor?
No, there's a few fun little ones, but
Yeah.
it's kind of the hero clicks.
Yep.
The times he showed up in chess sets. Nothing too out of the ordinary if you've ever been a Marvel character.
Yeah.
And some trading figure cards,
Yes.
which I think plenty of people are big fan of. They're super 90s. People love them.
I love
including one Rickball Special.
Rickball loves his 90s. Also, as well, I checked up on that pewter chess set with Moon Knight on there. I had a look at Alternate Worlds, which is located in Malvern in Victoria. Retails for about 1,300 Aussie dollars.
Whew.
Yep, for
Not
that
bad.
chess set. So, looks like it's a beautiful looking chess set. But if you play chess and you have enough money, by all means, go for it.
Take it to your official chess tournament. Show them how it's really done.
Oh, I'd love it. If only I just had the money. It'd be good. So yeah, I mean, and the hero clicks, Connor. So that was just remind me, because it is part of a gaming thing, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah, it's a tabletop board game with cards and attacks, and it's basically set around board game playing with those figures. They all have their own unique stats written on the base and on their cards: hit points, attack, defense, all that sort of stuff. It's a pretty big game. There's a decent community in Toowoomba that play it, so I know.
Oh, okay.
Who knows if the Moon Knight one's any good, but it is.
So it's definitely worth getting. I got them mixed up with what was that Disney thing? And I think they discontinued it. You put it on top of your console or something, and it unlocked.
Disney Infinity.
Which one? Sorry.
Disney Infinity?
Yeah, I thought those hero clicks were those.
I'd love a Disney Infinity figure. Those were kind of cool.
Yeah.
I have a bunch. I'm not gonna lie.
But apparently, I think the idea wasn't too popular, and so they've stopped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
it's an expensive venture.
It is, yeah.
But they were successful while it ran.
Yeah, it's worth a try. So, anyway, so that wraps up our toy and figure review, Connor. We've got a few just little bits of feedback.
We sure do.
Yep. So we got them predominantly from our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/group/ITK Moon Knight, a great community. Please come join. Over 800 members, really enjoying it there. And we have the first one from John Cortez. And in reference to the 2007 release of the Hasbro Marvel Legends Moon Knight, which we just discussed, John says he has that one, but he couldn't afford...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is, man, so that is at least, we know he's at least got $150 now to his name. And he said he couldn't afford the variant, but now that Hasbro has been killing it, lately, might be able to now. So I think he's saying, he's probably going to go for the variant. John, please let us know. It'd be interesting to see your take on what the silver and the black one, how they compare. But thanks for dropping a line, John.
Yep, my man Levi Lacion with that good point that Marvel's Gold Moon Knight is so terrible, yet I want it. I'm with you. Email the show, hit us up. Should I go in? Should I buy a Marvel's Gold Moon Knight? Please
convince Connor to get one. That'll be fantastic. And I think, Levi, you probably saying what all of us are thinking. So thank you for that.
The man brave enough to get it out in the air.
Third off, we just get a beautiful picture from Frank Bennett.
The Gentle Giant.
Yeah, the Gentle Giant one, which we just mentioned. He's provided his own backdrop there, which is pretty cool. It looks like the skyline and a full moon. So thank you, Frank. Really cool. Our Loonies in the community, go check it out. He's got one of the good ones. And yeah, as we said, most definitely would get this. It's very beautiful.
Oh yeah, and then Luis Ayala says, "What about Marvel Legends Moon Knight that came in the Vulture set?"
Yes.
Yeah, like we said, we did cover that one. Episode 19, that's a bit far away, back in our baby days.
Yep.
We're still figuring out what we were doing, but our view was there for your listening pleasure.
Exactly. And as Connor said, complete with someone closing their laptop. Anyway. And finally, of course, we have one of our beloved loonies, Rick at the Rickball Special. He says here, okay, here we go. He says, the current Marvel Legends Moon Knight is currently one of my favourites, next to Darkhawk and Taskmaster, which, fantastic. I've always wanted to grab that amazing David Finch Moon Knight, but it's so overpriced on eBay and Amazon. Yep. And Connor, what did you say again it was? It was like something crazy.
Oh, yeah.
300
100
bucks.
or 150.
It's crazy. Worst figure is without a doubt that gold figure, like Jesus Christ. I thought Rob Liefeld's Captain America was thick. Absolutely, yeah. And I cannot unsee that now, Rick. That's hilarious. Personally, I'd love to see McFarlane do some Moon Knight figures down the line.
He's back, yeah.
Ooh, his details and the way he crafts every figure is simply amazing. Wow, I've got to have a look at this McFarlane brand of like Spawn and stuff, Connor.
He's just partnered with DC too. He's got a line of figures. He's been working on DC characters coming out this year as well.
Oh wow! Oh man! Oh yeah! Definitely going to have to look that up. I wouldn't mind seeing a Marvel Legends Moon Knight line with a Build-A-Figure Khonshu. Oh, that's an awesome idea. With characters like Bushmaster. I think he means Bushman, with a skinless face variant. That would be bloody good. Midnight, Black Spectre, Morpheus, Bone Armor Moon Knight, yes. Stained Glass Scarlet, of course. And our Lord and Savior, Conquer Lord. Yes.
I thought he was going to miss him. He brought it back in.
Brilliant. And his accessory can be those couple of rats, and so that'd be great.
Yeah, mate, 2 rats.
2 rats. Keep up the good work, guys, and here's my mixture of Marvel Legends, Marvel Selects, and DC Icons. And Rick has posted up his a select shelf of figures there.
And if you want to see that, we're in our lovely group, facebook.com/group/ITK Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Drop that in the comments of our discussion post. It is a beautiful photo.
Yeah.
Brings a tear to the eye.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rick, for that. And thank you all the Loonies for dropping in some comments. It's been a learning experience, Connor, this toy figure thing. It's an expensive hobby. I thought comics were. Jeez, toys are. God. So
I never believed that you just stop with the one. It never works out like that.
I know. I saw this thing on Facebook. What did it say? It said something about my kid's never going to get into drugs. And then it's got a picture of this little kid with a pile of comics going, my kid just can't afford drugs because of all the comics you buy, which is, true to an extent, I guess. So anyway, that wraps up our show. Just a shout out to obviously Capes and Lunatics podcast. Give them a shout out because, just keep your eyes out and ears out for that episode about X Factor, Peter David.
Did you guys bring up the fact that Kermit beats the shit out of the Madrox? Does that come up?
No, we didn't. We didn't because that's in the later.
Oh right.
Oh no, it isn't. No, you're right. No, that is in that run, the first run.
That's the 90s
run.
one.
Yeah, it is.
Madrox's
He actually talks
cute
to him.
Outfit.
Yeah, of course. We should have, but yeah, no, we didn't. That's
I'll forgive you.
So a big shout out there to Phil and the Capes and Lunatics people there. Just a shout out also. I'm going to shout out the Big Bad Toy Store. They have a lot of your stuff. I think it's an online store based in America. Go check them out. They will. Oh, actually, just as the pre-orders sold out for. Oops, for the Premier Collection Moon Knight statue. But they've got a lot of other stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, if you check out Diamond Select's own website and maybe talk up to your local comic book shop, you might be able to get yourself a hold of the St. Jean Moon Knight Diamond Select figure, statue, bust, thingamathing.
Of course, support your LCS, absolutely. So go hit them up first. And with that, final shout out to Alternate Worlds Comics in Malvern, Victoria. I've bought a couple of things from them in the past. They're pretty good, pretty efficient.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and just so hit them up. They do online stuff as well, and they got some hard to find stuff. So they've got this pewter chess set for $1,300 if you want it. So Connor, next phase, what do we have?
Next phase, we should be on to date. Oh yeah, we're actually, following the phase of the moon. No one should get sick, and we have already recorded this one for your listening pleasure. It is a goodie. We have the power of Chad dropping in for his Isle of Ra session with us, covering four comics that you'll be able to see in the upcoming newsletter, or wait for the show to find out what he's selected for his desert island picks.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun talking to Chad about his comics. The guy's got a lot of knowledge, and he loves his comics, and that's why we love the power of Chad. Finally, I guess where you can find us, email at itkmoonnight@gmail.com. Our website is intothenightpodcast.wordpress.com. As mentioned, Facebook, we have a page, facebook.com/itkmoonnight, and our group, please consider joining. It's a closed group, but, just hit request and you'll get accepted pretty quick. It's on facebook.com/group/itkmoonnight. Twitter handle @itkmoonnight to make things nice and simple. And also we're on Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube. Just search for Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. Finally, we've got iTunes ratings. If you'd just like to rate us, that would be great. If you enjoyed the toy figure review that we just did, let us know. And if you want more, we can certainly look at doing that as new toys come out. But it helps us reach other loonies out there, so please consider. Thank you.
Awesome. That wraps us up nicely.
Yeah, this has been a pretty cool discussion, Connor. I'm looking forward to many other toy figure reviews. Maybe we can branch it out to, the toys, the busts, the statues. But I don't know, maybe board games or something. Oh, no, actually, that will probably be something else. No.
Also...
Yes?
Oh, sorry, I'll let you finish.
Oh, no, just saying, the tumbler glasses, stuff like that. Anything that's, Moon Knight in physical form. I think that would be good.
Yep. And, I was just going to add, if we've posted some of these people with figures that, we don't quite have the cash to throw out some of these old busts and figures. If you have those figures and you want us to either read our review or even record your own review, we'd love to put them on the show.
Brilliant.
We got some idle chat coming up about toys again. Drop us a line, drop us a comment, drop us a recording of yourself. Maybe get in touch with us about your experiences with these figures that have been gone out of print. And does anyone own Marvel's Gold Moon Knight? Is anyone mad enough?
I would love
to go ball?
Yeah, that's an awesome idea, Connor. Yeah, please do. If you have any questions about maybe recording, we don't have something set up to record. But, these days, smartphones and such, you can just record it. Just send us your MP3 or your audio file. We take all sorts of audio files. We'll be happy to play it and to have a listen of your reviews. Absolutely, Connor. That's a great idea to bring the ITK community into the podcast.
Hell yeah. All right.
Yeah, well, having said that, I've just got to, I guess, rest and recoup. Khonshu has meted out his justice. I'm on the end of that, so hopefully all good for tomorrow. Connor, how about yourself? You got a busy week coming up?
Oh, mate, I've got a few job interviews up. Maybe this won't be some unemployed boy listening. I've got some more comics to read.
Yeah.
Maybe I might even dig up those old X Factor runs. I've been meaning to go back.
Do it. It's so much
down
fun.
Memory lane.
Yeah, it's so much fun, Connor. A must. Anyway, Loonies, with that, thank you for listening once again, and as always, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. See you later.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information, or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.